Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome for the first time. So if you are new, gotta give a little context about who I am. Hi, my name is Chris. I'm currently a senior at UCLA, and for the past year, I've been using a flip phone as my main phone. So yeah, obviously that means that I have not had access to social media in the past year, which is what this video is going to be about. And I'm just going to share a little bit about my own experience and how it's been in college for a year without social media. And obviously I go to school in Los Angeles, so social media is a little more prevalent here, just the SoCal vibe. So yeah, let's get into it. Bear with me. I wrote most of my notes down in my book so I don't forget anything. Make sure I give you guys pretty much the full range of how I felt. Yeah, and I do want to what's the word? I do want to preface that obviously I still use YouTube, but I kind of differentiate that from social media like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, just because it's more like long form content that I'm consuming, and I don't consume it all too much. Plus, I use it as a creative outlet, so I can justify using it. I know it's still technically social media, but I don't see it as a problem for me personally like I did with the other social media apps. Yeah, let's get into it. So a lot of these dopamine detox videos or like going off of social media videos really frame it in this like black and white context, like here are the pros, here are the cons. But I think when getting rid of social media in the 2020s, it's a lot more complex and nuanced than that. So I'm just gonna say my experiences and not really attach positive or negative things, but just as a holistic experience, what it's been like for me. Yeah, so let's get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is just my journey with social media. So I'm 22 years old. I don't know if that's considered old to whoever's watching this, but I still think I'm pretty young. But I'm in that generation where I grew up without like smartphone technology being a huge thing, and then kind of in middle school it became more of a like a mainstay in people's lives. But yeah, I think I got Instagram when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, and it was just like, it wasn't anything crazy, but I remember like in high school, that's when like the addiction kind of started. I remember like, yeah, this is gonna sound stupid, but like I would like frame my life in like what I thought would be cool like Instagram posts. So like for example, like when I got the lead role in my High School Musical, I was more excited to post the pictures from the play than I was to actually get the role. And I didn't really think much of it at the time, but like looking back, that is like such a toxic mindset to have. And I feel like it's not that uncommon, especially like for people my age, like growing up with social media. It became something we used like as this validation force and as a way to show how cool we were or how cool our lives looked on social media. But yeah, during high school, it was becoming more and more of a problem. And then I graduated from high school in 2020. And if y'all know what happened that year, we shall not speak of it. Just because of that, during the pandemic, my screen time was absolutely atrocious. And most of this time was spent on social media. I think peak pandemic, I was spending more than like 8 hours a day on social media, which is really, really bad. And you know, like the landscape was during that, it was like pretty toxic and unhealthy, like just on the platform. Like, so that was obviously not good for my health. I became like a doom scroller and a boredom poster. Like I would actually post videos for fun. And like these like cringy TikToks just because that was how I wanted to fill my time instead of doing something more like fulfilling and enriching. So I'd say at that point, social media definitely became an addiction. And that's when I realized, like, okay, I kind of don't want to be moving this direction anymore. So I stopped posting TikToks, but like, you know, digital footprint, you could probably find them on the internet somewhere. But yeah, I started college in 2021. My first year was online, but once I actually got to in-person college at UCLA, social media definitely became less prevalent in my life, but I still found myself like taking a lot of pictures just for the sole reason to post. So it was definitely like still something that existed in my mind space, which looking back is like, I wish I just didn't care about that stuff. But yeah, so it's been a year now without it, and I'll tell you the differences. So first off, I want to say that my life is better. It's more enjoyable. It's like when I do things, it's not for the validation of a post, but it's solely because I want to experience something or do something that I want to do. There's no like ulterior motive in like getting like a nice picture to show off later on. This is like the same thing like every time I go camping or go on a new adventure, it's purely for the enjoyment of the adventure and nothing else. Same thing with concerts. I remember when I used to go to concerts, I would always fight for like a cool picture or video that I could post on social media later. But now that this is the only thing I bring to concerts, I'm not getting a video on this. So like I am purely there just for the vibes and purely there just for the enjoyment of the show. And that has been really like, it's been relieving. It's been nice and refreshing to just exist and do things that you want to do without worrying about social validation later on. Yeah, I've felt like a child again recently, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think the way that we stay young our whole lives is just by acting like children. And when I was a child, I didn't have any social media, so it's already like connecting me back like I'm a kid again. And yeah, that's like the main thing I've noticed. And I think that getting off of social media has had a really big role in making me feel young again. So another thing I've noticed is that I've been spending a lot more time on my hobbies. Often when I would use social media in the past, it was like an hour or 2 hour long expenditure of just sitting down and scrolling and not really doing anything enriching and just kind of like erasing my attention span by sitting. But now that I don't have social media to scroll on constantly, I found that I am spending a lot more time with my hobbies. And what are those hobbies? Obviously, I've mentioned this before, but I read a lot now. A lot more than I used to, at least. And yeah, it's nice. I haven't read a lot since I was like a middle schooler, which again was before social media. So I don't know, I have the attention span again to finally sit down and read a book, and that's it, like not get distracted by an Instagram notification. Yeah, I've been journaling a lot more since I got rid of my phone, and I've been just going on adventures and traveling. I've gotten into the New York Times crossword recently, and another like new hobby is I have a couple here. Been building like a lot of Lego sets recently. This is like a little Hercules beetle that I built a couple months ago, and I just have like a whole bunch over there, so I just grabbed it off my desk. But yeah, it sounds like it's a lot of hobbies and a lot of time commitment, but like you don't realize like how much time you're losing when you're scrolling on social media for so long. And getting rid of that has like made me realize that I have a lot more time to do things that I previously like thought I had no time for. But now it's obvious that my priority was social media and not enriching hobbies. Wait, the brightness is getting a little high now. Sun's coming out. Let me fix that for y'all. Okay. All right, yeah. So yeah, spend more time on my hobbies. I have like a New York Times subscription, so I do like the crossword Mondays through Wednesdays, I'm not good enough for Thursday, Friday yet, but I found a lot of enjoyment in that too. And I feel way more informed. Okay, like, oh wait, this is like another thing. So I feel like one of the things you feel like you're sacrificing when you're giving up social media is like staying in the loop in like world news. But yeah, I got this, like, I'm a subscriber to the New York Times, so I read this every morning, and I actually feel like I am way more connected to world news than I ever was when I was on social media. So that's something to consider too, if that's something holding you back. You always have other forms of getting your news. So, okay. All right, bear with me. Oh, I've also noticed that I kind of care less about how people see me. Yeah. Ever since putting down social media, I feel like I've relieved like this pressure of always having to look good, dress good, or like seem like I'm having like the best time of my life all the time. I know, like, at least like if you guys know what the app like Be Real is, when Be Real came out, I felt this pressure of having to like look cool every day, because this is like an app that sends you a notification every day to tell to show what you're doing or posting, which is like, it's not a healthy life to be doing something extremely cool or noteworthy every day. Like, there's beauty in the mediocre days, and there's beauty in normalcy, which I've started to internalize again now that I don't have social media. And that's something that's pretty cool. Like, I feel like most people are always like striving to like be exceptional every day because of social media, and in reality that's not a healthy way to live life or to go about doing things. So that's something I've also noticed hopping off. Yeah, I don't feel that pressure anymore. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about more of like the social aspect of like social media, especially like in college. So I've actually found that I've been way more social like in like the college atmosphere than I was with social media, which is like interesting, right? You feel like getting like off of social media will like kind of disconnect you from people, but I don't know if it's just because I'm an extrovert or like what it is, but I found that I need like my social fix in different ways. So I've spent a lot more time with interacting with people than I did before, because I don't have like that like social fulfilling from like seeing what's going on in people's lives. Yeah, if you are losing, like if you're concerned about losing friends like in college because you get off social media, I do this because if you're losing them after you get off social media, they probably weren't like really close friends of yours anyways. You're definitely gonna lose like your like satellite friends and like people you don't talk to every day, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If you're truly friends with someone in college, I don't think getting rid of social media will be like the breaking point of your friendship. Yeah, you're gonna lose like your satellite friends and like people you don't talk to on a regular basis, but the people who are like really your friends, you still have like a phone, so you're gonna be able to text them and communicate with them. And also like in college, it is so easy to like meet up with people because just we're in such close proximity with everyone. So yeah, I think it actually strengthens your relationships because you're gonna want to hang out with them more because you don't know what's going on with them, because you don't have social media to see what's going on in their lives. And that's like another thing about I found out about like not having social media in college is like you are way more interested in people's lives just because you don't know like what's happening with them. Like I don't know if this makes sense, but like when I meet up with people I haven't seen in a while, I'm like genuinely interested about what's happening with them, and like our conversations aren't really curated by stuff I've seen them do on the internet. Like it is just something that I'm like just really excited to hear about what's happening because I just didn't know. And conversations are way more are genuine and they're more organic, which is a really cool perk of not having social media, because you're actually genuinely curious about what's happening with these people, and like this like social interaction of actually speaking face to face allows you to unlock what their experiences are, like straight from the source, not even like a filtered like Instagram post. So that's a really cool thing that I didn't realize would happen. But I'm actually excited to talk to people again and hear their stories and what they've been up to. What else? Oh yeah, I've also noticed that like the general attitude like towards social media is kind of shifting. So whenever I meet a new person, and they like go to ask like about like having social, or ask me like for my like social media to keep in contact and stuff, and I tell them, oh, I don't have that anymore. I'm not met with like weird looks like I was expecting. It's more of a general attitude of like, oh, like I respect that, or like, oh, I wish I could do that. You know, like it's cool that our generation is realizing like these negative effects of social media. And yeah, like it's not like looked down upon to not have social media anymore, which I feel like a couple of years ago, like you'd be like viewed as like a weirdo if you didn't have an Instagram, like when you meet people. So that's a pretty cool like shifting attitude towards social media that I really think our generation, maybe not all of us, but like a lot of like people my age are starting to realize the negative effects of social media and kind of shifting away from that. And a lot of my friends have also like made the switch off of social media, which is pretty cool. I feel like we're more conscious of it now. So yeah, maybe everyone will be less user. And every person I've like every person I know who's like switched off of social media, I've never heard them say, "Oh, my life is worse because of it." You know, like that's something to consider, to think about too. Like everyone who's like quit video games or social media, they're never like, "Oh, my life is so much worse now that I don't have these constant distractions in my life." It's like always like a neutral or a good thing, you know? Yeah, and I guess the last part I want to touch on is like just my productivity as a college student. Obviously, I don't have the ability to be distracted. So if you're taking away something, you're just not going to do it as much, obviously. Like I function in extremes, I would say. So I think this was the best route for me to go. But like if you're taking away the junk food in your house, it's like the same concept. If you're taking away the junk food in your house, you're not gonna eat junk food anymore. So if you take away social media from your life, you're not gonna spend hours scrolling on a screen anymore. And obviously that's going to translate into a more productive lifestyle. Whether that's like being productive by building Lego sets or reading, which may not be like schoolwork, but you're still doing something that's way more fulfilling and productive than scrolling on your phone. But yeah, I mean, like I've obviously haven't been like a super like robot productivity machine, but I'd say my levels of productivity have increased at least like by 50%. Like I'm a way better student now. Like cut and dry. Just because like you're cutting off all ties to this, it is gonna work. And if you are thinking about getting rid of social media or like limiting use, I think the best way is just to cut it cold turkey, because it's gonna be like rough for a couple days, but like after like a week, you're gonna realize like how much time it was wasting from your life. And I don't know, I've tried doing like this like limiting my use on social media, but it like never works. I like always relapse and end up spending hours on my phone. So I think just like getting rid of social media cold turkey is like the best way to go about it. And it's worked for me, and it's worked for a bunch of people I've known. So it's tried and true and tested and proven. So yeah. I've also realized that my brain is not on autopilot as much as it has been in the past. I feel like my decision making is way more way more conscious and intentional. Because your brain like kind of strives to be, like, use the least amount of energy as possible. That's why, like, we're creatures of habit. We just do whatever is easiest for our brain, even if it's like a bad thing, like social media scrolling. It takes a lot more energy to make conscious and intentional decisions. But now that like I don't have like social media to be like masking over my brain and its decisions, I feel like I've made better decisions and more conscious ones as well. So yeah, overall, like, life just has been more fulfilling. I've felt way more content, and yeah, there's lots of positives about getting off of social media. So I think, oh, also something to preface, like, getting rid of social media won't solve all your problems, but it will be like the catalyst to like starting things that you haven't done before, right? Like, just getting, like, it won't inherently fix your problems is what I'm trying to say. You have to put in effort still, but it is just way easier to put in that effort when you don't have a distraction. So that's something to consider. And yeah, I think that covers like most of my experience without social media. Obviously a lot of good coming out of it. But yeah, if you clicked on this video, odds are you probably have a problem with social media, or looking to have less of a problem with social media. So you're interested, and if you stayed this long, you probably are heavily considering getting rid of social media. And if I have any sway on you, I'd say just do it. Try it out. See if your life is better. If it's not, you can always like re-download the app. But yeah, just try it out. I think that's the best way to see if your life could be better than it is now, or like maybe you'll find a lot more free time and a lot more time to like work on your passions, hobbies, and not waste hours of your day on social media. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it. If you liked the video, give it a like. And if you like me and my thoughts, my video, I do this, I kind of just share my thoughts. That's what this channel's about. You can subscribe. I'm actually graduating college, so there will be a lot more time for me to like post videos on YouTube, which is really exciting. And then yeah, comment what you think, if you're off social media, like how that has affected your life, or if you're considering it, what's holding you back. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.